Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm your host, Miss Camene, and this is Phone Call. I have with me today my brother from another mother, Mike. What it do?
What up, YouTube? Y'all already know how we do here on Phone Call. We talk about the hot topics, things that are coming up in conversation behind the scenes. We focus on perspectives between men and women. Sometimes we don't agree, and that usually makes for better viewing. Every week we're gonna have somebody different on the show. This week we have Miss Anita, Goldie, and Sticks. Say what's up to the world, y'all.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, Camille. I know we was talking about jealousy today. You wanted to go over the impacts and things like that. What we going over today?
I wanted to talk about jealousy and how I feel like jealousy really is an evil in relationships. I feel like I wanted to discuss and see how you guys felt about jealousy and to see if you feel like it gives a big impact in relationships. And for me, I just want to share a little bit about how I feel about that. So for jealousy, I feel like in the beginning of my relationship, um, I feel like getting to know my partner, I wasn't like 100% with him. I felt like maybe I rushed into the relationship. And so I felt like me doing that and him being him and me not knowing him well enough formed all these insecurities that I had. So I felt like, whenever he would go out, I would want to question that, just really not knowing him. So I think my last relationship kind of had me scarred. And I brought that into this new relationship. So I felt like I wanted to talk about how I feel like it's important that before we start relationships that we really like kind of study our partner and that we share those stories about our past relationships and tell them how it affected us. And so that way I feel like it'll give your partner time to really figure out who you are and then the way that they act later on. As far as like getting in an argument, you'll know where this is coming from. You'll know where that insecurity and that hurt is coming from, which forms jealousy. But I I'm just I feel like it is a deal breaker in relationships, jealousy. So what do you guys think? Everybody's
I'm
like,
gonna
wait.
let other people take it first. I'm quick to snatch that mic.
Anita, what do you think about it?
About jealousy in general?
Jealousy in general.
I feel that jealousy in general, I know a lot of people focus like on the other person and what the other person is doing to make, the other person jealous. But I also, with me and in myself, I also look at myself because, for example, in my current relationship, which is a marriage, and I shouldn't say current, with my marriage, you know, so if I don't get like over jealous, especially later in life, I'm not super jealous, but sometimes I get jealousy. But I know for me, it usually stems from like if there's something that I'm lacking, like if I feel like when I'm self-reflecting and I'm like, hey, you know what, lately I know I haven't been doing this, and my husband is unhappy, so then like maybe I start to feel, not maybe, I feel insecure about the relationship, and like, oh, is he gonna start feeling like the grass is greener on the other side because I'm not pulling my weight?
Right. Okay, so you feel like when it's something that you're doing, you already form in his head what he's thinking, like.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I gotta think for both of us, so
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Yeah. And what about you, Sticks?
I personally, I'm not too jealous anymore. When I was younger, I was really, really jealous. But I think if you're a jealous person or you're feeling the emotions of jealousy, I think it's really the time to look in the mirror. I think it comes from lack of confidence in yourself or the relationship or what you're going through. So, you kind of project your insecurities on the other person. I mean, it's emotion. All emotions are valid if there's a reason. But a lot of the jealousy that I've seen or experienced or secondhand experience is from people assuming certain things, and in their mind things are happening, and that's where the biggest problem or the toxic energy can come to the relationship.
Okay, so you felt like you've been in relationships where you've been with somebody that must have been hurt in the past, and she kind of brought it into your relationship?
I mean, it could be a past hurt. It could be, I think when people start taking possession of other people, that's when that jealousy comes into play, because now you're feeling like somebody's messing with your toys or something that belongs to you. I think when you can let that go and just have confidence in your relationship or your partner or who you are, then you're no longer jealous, because you can't control the actions of other people. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. Then make a decision. Are you going to be with the cheater? Or are you going to leave the cheater? But the jealous thoughts, I think that it's just negative energy. It's just consuming you. It can mess up your relationship, because some people, they don't like to be accused of something over and over if they're innocent, and then sometimes they get the feeling like, well, if she thinks I'm doing it anyways, I might as well.
I might as well do it. Yeah, I've heard that. I might as well do it. What do you think?
I should have cheated. Yes, right? I think that a little bit of jealousy is okay. Insecurity driven jealousy is so different than just a little bit of, oh, you think you cute, you trying to get that girl. Well, I get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's different. I think that, I'm a little, different, just the fact that I will see something and smirk, but based on how my partner and I are connecting will determine how far it goes or how I feel about it. But if we're just dating or starting out, as a wise man once said, we're in an open relationship until we're not, right? So I can't be jealous unless we have made a complete and utter commitment. And at that point, if I've done that, then I should not feel a tinge of jealousy to where I am going through your phone or anything weird like that. Because my theory of going through phones, I'm not going to go through your phone to destroy my happiness if I'm happy. And as long as I'm happy, I'm not looking for problems.
Right.
But I think a little bit of jealousy is okay. I think it's kind of cute where, if he sees somebody's interested and you catch his eye, catching the other guy's eye, and you're like, yes, and I'm going home with you.
Yes, right. Right. What do you think, Mike?
Obviously, we're talking about jealousy. We're only talking about in a established relationship, because if you're not in a relationship and you're jealous, then you're possessive and delusional. So there's a big difference between being possessive and being jealous. And there's also a difference between being jealous and being insecure. I think in a relationship where I'm sharing space and time with a woman who we've made commitments to, part of her sense of security and managing her jealousy is part of my responsibility, and vice versa. I can't be, as Sticks said, confident in a relationship where there's no evidence of a reason to be confident, right? So if I express to my partner that there is something that is making me jealous, her reaction to that can either extinguish my jealousy or increase it. So if she's somebody who says things like, YOLO, I only live once, I don't belong to nobody, how you feel is how you feel, and you need to work on that, but I'm gonna do me. That attitude is not going to do anything about my jealousy. And I also cannot be called insecure if my partner is not willing to make adjustments to her social life for the health of our relationship.
Right.
Now, anytime we talk about making any changes in a relationship, then that conversation of compromise and submission and all of that stuff comes into it too. And a lot of people feel like they shouldn't have to make changes to their life to be in a relationship. And if you're not on a quest to be interdependent and sharing space and time with somebody, and not willing to make alterations to how you hang out with your male friends if you're a female, or how you hang out with your female friends if you're a male, if you're not willing to make changes like that, then you're also not ready for a relationship.
Definitely.
Relationship. If you're not willing to make those necessary changes, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. So if you call me jealous, then understand that jealousy is a reactionary emotion.
Yeah.
You understand? It's like something happens to trigger it in a lot of times. And so if I'm telling you that there's a reason, and I'm not just pulling stuff out of the air,
you need to listen,
do anything about it, then
right. Anita, you said you disagree?
I do, because, this is my second marriage, and in both marriages, when I came in, I had male friends, and not my current husband, but my first husband, he was like, you have to drop all your male friends. I was not about to do that. A lot of these male friends of mine I've been friends with for years and never had any relations with, but prior to him. So, you know, I think that but I was ready for a relationship, but I wasn't ready for some man to come in my life and try to control me and tell me I can't have friends of the opposite sex.
Right. You just wanted him to like
Right.
adjust to how you felt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
go ahead. Well, the only reason why I'm gonna say anything is because she said it was a disagreement with what I said. I'm not saying that you should be willing to give up your friends for your partner. I'm saying that there are ways you can manage those relationships, make alterations to the schedule in which you hang out and when you talk. For instance, if I had this situation personally before. If I'm on the phone with you and it's 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, you my woman, right? If I'm on the phone with you 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and we're at the point where we just hearing each other breathe, you're not adding to the conversation. Everything I say is getting a one-word answer. You're not really involved. And then right before we hang up, you tell me, okay, I'm about to call my male friend. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it's appropriate if I'm in a relationship and my woman is calling and talking to men in the middle of the night. There's nothing really productive happening in the middle of the night, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning with somebody of the opposite sex. And before you say, well, these are my male friends and nothing's ever happened, just ask yourself, how would you feel as a woman if your man hanging up with you lets you know he's about to call his homegirl?
What
at
if
1
they
o'clock
were
in the
just
morning?
gonna go to the Waffle House and they just wanted some waffles in the morning and
Only
there
a
was
couple
other
things open after a
and-
certain hour. Right? Waffle House, the
No,
crack
but what
house,
if there was a
and
couple
Hey,
other
look, we
if there's
all
other
been in the
people,
hangout
just say you
phase.
don't live close to your girl, right? And she has some friends and like everybody was going out, not just her and her male friend, like they were all going out. Like, is that was her friend before? Is that still a
If
problem?
she's going out with her friends, then sure.
Yeah.
But even that, I mean, like I just feel like you have to have boundaries. Sitting around doing things that bring risk into your relationship
Yeah.
just for the sake of not being labeled insecure, I think that's irresponsible.
Yeah.
A person who respects themselves has boundaries, and if the person on the other side can't,
Understand that.
if they
Yeah.
can't live inside those boundaries, then just don't be together. But I'm
What
not
do you
about to
think,
be.
Holly, about that? You
Wait,
were gonna
hang
say
on.
something?
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
go
just say though. I'm gonna just say though, for me personally, if I'm gonna be in a relationship with a woman, if she has a problem with me saying I don't want you hanging out with men at 1 o'clock in the morning at the fucking Waffle House,
Yeah.
if she don't see how that could pose a risk in our relationship,
Then you don't need
she's
her.
probably not
She not for you.
relationship with me. Yeah.
Holly, what were you
for
gonna
the
say?
Waffle House. But I want to pose a separate type of question, because I mean, this is kind of segueing into friends once you enter a relationship of the opposite sex, right? So on staying on track, I have a question. What do you think? I want to say percentages because I don't want anything rattled off there, but how frequently do you think that relationships are started by a tinge, not a psycho, but a tinge of jealousy? Kind of like, oh, she's still single. I don't want her to be able to do XYZ or him to do XYZ. I want us to be together, and that's when they have the talk. Do you think that a touch of jealousy and realizing that this person is not locked in, that it is one of the healthy forms of jealousy?
Sticks.
Is that for me?
No,
I'm just.
go ahead. You're asking everybody? I wanted to know what you thought about that, Sticks, about what Holly said. Do you feel like a little bit of jealousy is?
I think all jealousy is bad. I think jealousy starts more jealousy. I don't see it growing. It's just more and more jealous. Like, what is it growing into? Any jealousy is just going to grow into more jealousy. If you're starting a relationship because you're jealous that the other person might be dating, that's way off. That's like, no, don't ever start that relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship because the only reason why you're trying to start a relationship with me is because you're jealous now because I went on another date, or I might have some affections or thoughts with another woman. That sounds like I'm just stepping into a trap. Like, it's just going to get worse and worse.
Maybe a triggered realization.
Say it again.
Maybe a triggered realization.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if you figure or feel like I want to be with this person and just with this person, I hope it's not driven by jealousy. I hope that's a genuine feeling. I hope that's why you're starting the relationship, because you really like the person. You see yourself with this person long term. Start the relationship. If you're doing it because, you know, Susie called while you were on a date and he was like, and you're just still dating, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to see this girl next week, or, you know, I don't know, whatever caused you to feel that way, like I need to lock him up, that I think that's messed up. I mean, guys do it all the time. They're like, I'm gonna try to get her pregnant. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? That's how jealous some guys get. You know, I think that any form of jealousy, I just see it just as it's toxic to the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you to a point, Sticks. You're right. It can be toxic, but it's one of those things where a lot of times we will have a great time and, you know, hang out, and we get into what could be seen as a stale pattern. It could be seen as just a routine until something triggers, like, whoa, wait a minute. It breaks that routine. It's like, oh no, I'm going out with, you know, Jaquan Saturday. We're gonna have to, you know, we're not gonna make it. And you're like, whoa, wait a second. It is not as much the jealousy of Jaquan whereas it is, wait a minute, you're changing what we're doing, and I don't care for that, and I'm going to lock this down.
Right.
I'm never gonna feel that way. I want you to go out with Jaquan, Jamel, you know what I'm saying, Jason, whoever you need to go out with all these guys, and then make an educated decision. You know, I'd rather you have all your options on the table before you choose me. You know, I want you to be able to, you know, have other choices, because I want you to choose me for me, not because of any other reason. You know, and likewise, I want to choose you, you know, because of you, not because I'm scared that, you know, some guy's gonna come take you off the market.
Right. I have a question with that too. Do you guys feel like if you were in a relationship and your partner needed that, like, justification at any point in time, you know, if you went out with your boys, this was the same routine you kept doing, but again, you guys are new to the relationship, so they're just trying to make sure this is what it is, and they were like, well, who are you going out with, and what time are you coming back? Do you feel like answering those questions, would that scare you off in the relationship, or would you feel like, okay, this person has been hurt in the past, so I'm just going to give her, you know, that justification, like, this is what I'm doing? You feel like it's a no for you, like you don't even want to go there if she's being vulnerable and telling you exactly how she feels? Like,
look, I think if you're in a position where your partner is asking you where you're going and who you're hanging out with, then you're not doing a good enough job of communicating what's going on in your life. Like, if I'm going out, right, if I'm doing anything, my girl is gonna know, right? Hey, Friday, I'm gonna be hanging out with Coco and her brother and the friends. We're going to the park. We're gonna be hanging out and this and that. You want to come? You don't want to come? All right, cool. What? So you're gonna know where I'm at. But if I'm being vague and I'm not being clear about what's going on in my life, you don't know I'm going out until I'm in the car.
We're walking out and you smell the cologne, like, you smell too good to be in the house.
We get on video chat, right? We get on video chat, and I'm done up a little bit more than I usually am when we talk. You know what I'm saying? We're in a relationship. You're in position to ask me, yo, you look good. Where are you going? How come I don't know? Like, who you going with? What y'all doing? Like, you perfectly within your ground to ask me in a situation.
I'm going out.
If you communicating well, and again, if you on that I'm grown and I'm going out shit, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. Being in a relationship,
maybe not be ready to be in a relationship with you.
No,
I'm going out, and if she wants to go out, she's going out. You know, like, you don't have to give up your freedom to be in a relationship. That's just
this is not about giving up your freedom, Sticks. This is about being transparent with a person who you're sharing space with.
I don't have a problem being honest. Be honest, but don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not 21 questions.
Right, but like I said,
there shouldn't be. What he's saying, I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump in real quick. What he's saying is that it's not about the questions, it's about the volunteering of the information. If I'm communicating with my dude, I'm like, babe, you know, next Thursday I'm going out with Shujana and Boo Boo and da. You know, he's like, oh, okay. And then Thursday comes and he's like, where are you going? I told you I was going out with Shawana and Shabubu. Like, come on, honey, you're still forgetful.
Right.
That's one. But if I never say anything and all of a sudden I got my get him dress and heels on, and he's like, where you think you going?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be like, have a good time. You know, because I can't control, because you could be not dressed. You could have no makeup on. I hang up, then you get dressed and put on the makeup. You know, girls put different clothes in their bags. They go to school and change so their parents don't know what they're wearing. You have no control over other people. What
this is not about control.
They gonna do.
But this is not about control. When you listen to married people talk, a lot of times they refer to their counterparts as their best friend. You will communicate with your best friend.
Mhm.
without them being your husband or your wife or nothing, your best friend, hey girl, I'm going out on this night. She's gonna get an invite. He's gonna get an invite. This is not about control.
If
This
you're
is
married
about
or
transparency.
in-house relationship, that's different, right? That's, you know, you
That's
guys
all
are,
we're talking about. If you're not in a relationship like that, then there should be no jealousy.
well,
Mhm.
I mean, you could be in a relationship with somebody, not live with them. You know, people have
Yeah, but any
relationships.
serious relationship, though,
Any
Sticks,
serious?
it has a type of communication level.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
you're not
communication
going to be all
is
up in
yeah.
somebody's butt when you live in separate homes, but there is that communication.
Exactly.
And
We're talking about video chatting with your significant other. I'm assuming it's 11, 12 o'clock at night, you sleep in separate homes. Okay,
But
I'm
even
saying that.
But even if you do live separate, if you're in a serious relationship where you are committed, like transparency in your life is not conditioned by whether you share a roof or not. We have to have a point where we're living apart and being in a relationship before we're together in a relationship. So while we're living apart, we should be practicing showing the qualities of people to spend your life with one day.
Mhm.
You should be sharing that stuff voluntarily. And if you don't, right? Again, if I don't know you going out until you're in the car, you're like, baby, I'm gonna call you back. I'm pulling up to the club, and I thought you was at home. This is not about control. This is about why we're not talking.
Can I-
We've been on the phone. We spoke on the phone, 5, 6 times today. You had plenty of opportunities to mention the fact that you and your friends was going out tonight. You chose not to. Not only did you choose not to, but then I didn't get an invite either. So that looks like you're hiding it. So
Anita,
again, if you're
But that's
transparent,
jealousy, right?
nobody should have to ask questions.
That's jealousy. That's the
no, hold on,
definition
hold
of
on.
jealousy.
Anita wanted to jump in. Jump in, Anita. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say two things. The reason why I was cracking up, Mike, when you said that was because I've done that before, like been in the car and like, oh, okay. And that's because I was ending the relationship and I didn't care anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You was ending a relationship. You didn't respect him anymore, so you didn't feel like you owed him to communicate with him.
Right.
If you're in a relationship where you actually respect him and you love him, communicating is important. This is not about jealousy or control.
Oh.
Transparency is a part of a healthy relationship.
Part two of what I said too is that I've also been in this situation as well. And I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes the lack of communication could be because the other person is so jealous that their reaction is not something you want to deal with until you're like in the car ready to go.
right,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's a good point.
But
That
you
controlling factor,
heard
right?
you heard what your motivation was behind not communicating, right?
Yeah, she was already done with it. She didn't
You
want
was
the
already
relationship.
done. So if
Yeah.
I'm seeing that kind of behavior, if a person is seeing that behavior that we know only comes with a lack of respect or a lack of connection to the relationship, then it's only fair to question it. A person who loves you and respects you will let
Is
you
gonna
know ahead of
communicate.
time
Yeah.
that
Sticks,
they're
what were you
about to
gonna
go
say?
do something.
That's true.
Sticks, what were you gonna say? You were gonna jump in there.
I just feel a little differently. I mean, I just feel differently. I just think that if people want to go out, that's their freedom to go out. If they told you or not, I mean, that's up to them. If you think that they're doing something nefarious or wrong, I mean, yeah, question them, ask them, if you think that they're going or cheating behind your back or whatever. But to me, I'm confident enough to know it don't matter where my girl's going, whatever time, night, day, it don't matter. If I trust her and I trust in our commitment or relationship and our love for each other, then I don't have to worry about it. I trust her.
So
See
in a
what I'm saying?
relationship,
150%.
in your relationship though, you would want to hang out with her, right? You guys would want to set plans, go to the movies, like do stuff that people do when they're getting to know each other. So don't you think communicating with her about where you are, with her trying to, what if she wanted to plan some special surprise? I wouldn't even know how to do that if I don't need to tell you what I'm doing and I don't need to know what you're doing. Like
You don't need to tell, but if you volunteer the information, that's cool. Communication is the key to a happy relationship. I'm not saying don't communicate, not saying nothing. What I'm saying is it's not Mando that you have to tell me your every movement. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? The same way, like
No,
if you
that
see
is
me
the thing.
going, you know what I'm saying? So if
I
I see
think
you
you, I
getting
think
ready
you're
to go
stretching it
somewhere,
to I think you're taking the notion of communication to a negative extreme by describing it as breaking down your every move. This is not about clocking somebody's moves. This is just about normal communication that you would have with any friend. If information is omitted, then it was intentional. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to wonder, why would they choose to not tell me when they could have told me?
maybe because they're scared of your reaction. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? So I don't have negative reactions to what people tell me, so they're open to tell me everything. If they choose to omit something, I mean, people need secrets, right? People need to have their own little privacy sometimes. I'm just not the type to be so interested in what you're doing if you're not with me. If you're with me and you want to make plans and we're doing something, yeah, I need to know what time you're going to be here, what you're doing, everything. But if it's Thursday, Tuesday, even if it's Saturday and you're going out and we're not going out together, I don't think it's my right to be questioning you, you know what I'm saying, or what you're doing. If I feel like you're going with some other guy and I feel something that I'm so insecure with myself. Because if you're my girl, you're not going out with no other guy. Number one, I already know that. You're not going with to do nothing except have a good time, whatever you're doing with your friends, guy friends, girlfriends, gay friends, straight friends, it don't matter. Because I'm confident in our relationship. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be in the relationship.
So
I think all
want
that
to jump in
good.
there real quick. You know, you know, everyone tries to deny it and stuff, but I do have a slick toxic trait, and that is not jealousy as much as it is like, even with my friends. My friend is my friend. My best friend is my best friend. That's not your best friend. That's my best friend, you know? And it's one of those things where I tend to be a little more protective, like, oh, my best friend is going out with her other friend. Well, you're not her best friend. Mm-hmm. Even with that type of friendship, not just a relationship type, I communicate openly. And we just had a whole situation where I, in fact, was like, hey, did I tell you that XYZ, yada, yada, yada? And she was like, no, I don't remember that. She's like, but it's no big deal. I mean, I said, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I told you. And she was like, well, why? I mean, no, that's just who I am. I share everything. I mean, we talk about the deepest, darkest secrets. Mm-hmm. I didn't want there to be any cause for you to think, well, why didn't she tell me XYZ? So in a sense of communication, that's my best friend, not yours, my best friend, right? And I'm the same with in a relationship. Like, you know, I will voluntarily communicate information, and I do expect the same. Yep. But I also have to say, a little toxic trait is that I like when a man is feeling a little like jealous, a little, you know, don't you? And I'm like, oh yes, Daddy. It's not like the for real kind. It's just you know, play. You know,
like, women love a little bit of jealousy.
No, that's so true. It's so funny. I think I was telling Anita that I ended up downloading this app and playing this game on my phone, and I didn't know because I haven't been in the dating field for so long, but people slide into like your messages trying to holler at you through the video game. Like I mean through the phone, I'm just playing dominoes. But I was like showing my husband, I'm like, look, you know, man, people are really over here. This is how they're wanting to hook up now. And he's like, oh, that's funny. And I'm thinking, did you not know that after his next move, he can have all of this? Like a little bit of jealousy for you to realize, like, please don't act like this is just a game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a little bit of jealousy, that kind of like, just like, oh man, yeah, you better uninstall that app. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's just dominoes. You know, like, I think,
what would you want him to say though?
I think I would just want, I don't know, maybe just say uninstall that app or don't play with that person anymore.
You want him to give you a reason. You want him to give you a reason to call him controlling and call him jealous.
No, uninstall that app would be a form of control. But why are you still playing with him? I'm gonna teach you. So when we get upstairs, oh shoot, let me go. Turn the game off. Yes, Daddy.
But just you know, just something. I think that when you like, when it's so to the extreme, so that's what I was saying about my little bit of that. But how would I have reacted if he said uninstall it? I would have been like, dude, it's just a game, like relax. But just like for you to say something, you know, like I feel like sometimes people get in relationships and they get comfortable, like they don't know what they have, like all of this sitting next to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, all of this. But I just feel like that's what I mean by a little bit of it. But as far as someone like trying to check my phone or, you know, sometimes I feel like even the form of jealousy is like isolating you from everybody else. Like you want me to hang out with just you every day, all the time. Like, no, like
the first sign of an abuser.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not jealousy. That's a controlling guy. That's not jealousy. Again, being controlling is a behavior. Jealousy is a reactionary emotion.
Right, but I feel like he could be jealous because he doesn't want to. Being jealous can be not sharing me with anybody else. That's still a form of jealousy to me. Do you
Being
guys disagree?
controlling, being controlling would be keeping you from other people. Being jealous would be telling you that my feelings are hurt because you're spending more time with your friends than me.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goldie, I'm so glad that you brought up the whole friendship thing because, you know, I feel like a lot of like anything that pertains to jealous when it comes to me has to come from like friendships.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard one.
Wait, you being jealous of?
No,
Oh,
hell no.
I've had a lot of frenemies that I did not know about. I feel
No.
hard.
Wait, no, you're saying with people being jealous of your friendships with other people, or just being jealous of you?
Just some sort of jealousy for whatever reason. I don't even get it. Or I see other friends, you know, jealous of other friends. Like I had someone who we had a circle of friends, and one girl told the other girl that she was jealous of her life, and I'm like, what? You know,
Yeah.
it was just, to me it was crazy from the outside looking in. If you know, if you want to compare lives, they both have amazing lives. I mean, for the most part, you know, from the outside looking in, you know, but I've had, you know, like friendships like get jealous of the relationship that I have, you know, things like that. That's what I experienced mostly is from other like people in those senses.
Yeah, I think it's so funny when people have that jealousy and they think they know your life or they want your life. Like, oh my God, I want your life. It's like, you do? You know what I mean?
Like
Are
you
you
don't
sure?
even know what's going on the inside.
Just because I make it look easy doesn't mean it is, sweetheart. I'm magical.
Yeah.
Magical.
I love it.
So magical.
I love it. Oh yeah. I think we can say that jealousy, I feel like jealousy really ruins a lot of relationships. And I feel like that's what I guess they were trying to tell you, Sticcs, is like the communication can help with some of that jealousy. Because I feel like you're like, oh, well, she's the one for me next.
With a jealous person, like, what's the point? If somebody's sitting there like, where are you going? What you doing? What's up? What's going on? It's like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's foreign. I mean, any little bit of jealousy can grow. And if jealousy can grow, it's going to get worse. You know, you say, oh, I like a jealous guy. If he would have just said something, but then you said, if he wants you to take the game off, now he's becoming controlling. So you want him to walk this fine line of, you know, being a predator, but you don't want him to take no bites. You want him to look mean. You just want him all bark, no bite. You know, jealousy can lead to very, very, very bad problems for everybody involved.
It can, but I mean, I guess it really depends on the relationship. If it is a true toxic relationship, hell yeah. Sorry, my dog's walking around in the background. But all in all, a little bit in Camene's scenario, just a little bit of.
You want attention. You don't want jealousy. You want to know
the reaction. How about
I want a reaction.
You want the concern.
Attention. Let's say she gets attention. It is more so the reaction to when I tell you that a man is flirting with me. I don't want you to be Hulk smash and destroy the phone and go find the guy and hunt him down like bacon.
Right.
But what I would like is for you to give a little confidence of like, oh, yeah, baby, you know, I understand why you a beast on that domino. Yeah, I'm about to flirt with you too. Some type of reaction, but to just laugh.
I'm just going to trust you and hope you make the right decision.
It sounds like you want attention and entertainment at the same time. Like,
always.
But like, people are human with emotions, yo. Like, I mean, it's not like you saying I like a little jealousy and that's good. At least you got identified that shit is toxic, yo. Like, I just, when I think about peace in a relationship, peace to me is like consciously taking things out of the situation that can cause problems. Like anything that can cause problems, be proactive about taking those things out. And jealousy ain't nothing good. That's not fertilizer that's gonna make our plant grow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do what I do to make sure my girl feels secure. Like I've said it 100 times, yo. If I'm in a relationship, if I'm telling the world that this woman is mine, if she on my social media and shit, the last thing she got to worry about is another woman stepping into my shit. And I want to feel the same way. You know, I want a woman that's gonna post about me too. Valid, you know,
he's my man. That's my man.
Yeah, and again, I don't think that there's any reward in like trying to deny yourself emotional gratification and feeling good because your partner is feeling you. There's no reward in pretending like you don't want that just so you don't look.
I know we're running short of time, and I have to say, My toxic trait is that I am a little bit jealous. I don't like a lot of bit jealous. I just sorry to cut you off, but I had to get that out. I don't want no jealous psychos trying to talk to me.
They're like, hey girl. You're like, not today.
Not today.
Oh my God. You guys, that was, you have something? Go ahead, add it.
Just real quick, I just want to say that the way that things are progressing in today's age, though, that I feel that the things that Sticks is saying, that a lot of women would be like, dang, okay. That they, yes. So what I was saying is that, you know, with the way that the world is progressing and how things are evolving and changing and stuff, I think that there's a lot of women who would probably appeal to what Sticks is saying, how he is in a relationship, because there's women that are going to want to come and go and do what they want to do, but have somebody at the home base.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Sticks, do you agree with that?
I mean, it's a good point. You know, I believe whatever relationship you're in, you know, there needs to be communication, right? You have to communicate with what you want, what the other person wants, to make sure you're a good fit. When jealousy comes into play, I think it's toxic. I think it could ruin relationships. I don't see where it's beneficial. I know a lot of women love to have a little bit of jealousy, but, you know, I think you're poking the bear, you know? People become jealous when they're possessive over something they believe is theirs, you know?
Right.
And that's where, you know, like little babies, you know, my toy, my this, my that.
My
Why are
husband.
they saying that? Because, you know, they don't want no one else to play with their toys. They're very jealous, but they're immature and very young. They don't know. So as you get older, you get more mature, you understand that you can't control the behaviors of other people. As much as you want to, you can't. So if I have no control of what you do, for me trying to pretend I have control, or trying to put control or boundaries or set something up where it's going to be negative or feel like I'm trying to figure you out, it just seems, you know, like the wrong thing to do. To me, the best thing to do is to let people live their lives as happy as they want to be, you know? And of course, I don't want you going on dates with no other guys. I don't want you looking at another guy, but I'm not going to police you when we're walking down the street. Who are you looking at? What's going on?
So is it a deal breaker in a relationship with you if she was to be like, can I see your phone? Who are you talking to? Is that like,
yeah. Okay, you can never be my parent. So, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go through my phone, you like, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you can't give me rules to tell me how to live my life. You can only give me
I just want to see your phone.
I
don't want to direct your path. I just want to see your phone and figure out who you were talking to last. That's all.
I'll let you look at my phone one time, and then that's it.
But my thing is, I don't understand that. Why do you have to look at the phone
trust me,
to know who I'm talking to?
That's my whole point. If you don't trust what I'm doing, please don't be with me, because I don't want you to imagine something and I come home and I'm the new Mr. Lorraine Bobbitt. Like, it's not going down like that. I don't want those problems. I just want to stop it before it happens.
No, yeah.
But Holly, you don't, so people looking at the phone is a no for you too?
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have I done it? Hell yeah, I've done it. Now I probably would do it again, but it's not a natural, normal process in a healthy relationship. If I have my dude's phone, it's because he just handed it to me and I need to make a call, or I'm looking for something because he can't XYZ. There's no locked doors, no locked phones. There's no need for it. And if it is locked for safety in the public, you know my code, I know your code. But like I said earlier, I don't look for things to hurt my feelings when I'm happy. I'm not trying to go and discover, okay, where was he at this time? I just sit back and we good. You told me you were there. I believed it until things don't match. Then I'm like,
You know how many women probably do it the opposite of you? Like, they probably sit at home like, man, I am so happy. It's too good to be true. Let me go see if he's really what he say he is. Like, a lot of women will use their happiness as the excuse to look through the phone.
Oh, sir,
I believe that.
I will never mess up my happiness. That's his job.
Yeah.
I have one question. I have one question for the ladies. What would you guys prefer? Would you prefer a man who's a little bit jealous, or would you prefer a man who trusts you?
A man who trusts me.
A man who trusts me that's a little jealous.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
that's
you.
not the question, but yeah.
I know. And you're
So
always
one or the other.
I'm just saying, what would you prefer? If he was a little bit jealous or he trusts you, which one would you prefer?
The one that's trusting.
Yeah.
But why can't the man trust you but be a little jealous?
I mean, that's cake and eating it too. It's just what women want. They want the bear, but they don't want the growl. They don't want the bear.
Okay.
They
With
just,
this
you know.
question, I
So
do
we
want
want the bear.
the trust.
Y'all know words.
Question
Y'all know
for the trust.
words. Y'all know words are important to me. Jealousy is not an accusation of infidelity. A person can be jealous and trust their partner. Jealousy is a reactionary emotion to a specific behavior. So if I don't live with my woman,
Jealousy is not a
and we
good
do
choice.
our good nights, hang on, brother. If we do our good nights on the phone at 10 o'clock, and I just happen to wake up at 1 o'clock because I miss her and call her, and when she pick up the phone, it's loud music in the background, and I'm hearing niggas' voices in the background, and I say, what are you doing and where are you? She says, I came to the club with Jason, and I didn't know anything about it. I have a right to be jealous about that. I have a right to be jealous that not only is she going out with other
That's
niggas, but when she
Mike,
wanted
that's
to go
that's
out,
the
she's
different
actually
emotion,
go
Mike.
out.
That's angry, baby. I'm angry. I'm
And there's
38.
anger involved too. But actually, it's still
Yeah.
jealousy, and it could turn into anger depending on how she responds to my jealousy.
Mhm.
So if you
Yeah.
ask me, do you want a man who trusts you or if he's jealous, bro, you could be jealous and trust your woman. Just because I'm jealous doesn't mean that I think she's doing something wrong. I just don't like how this specific behavior made me feel.
True.
Being controlling and being insecure is something completely different.
Wait, but
And
I
that's
kind of agree
honestly
with
the problem.
Sticks.
That's actually the problem
Okay.
with a lot of these conversations,
Yeah.
because when we talk about one thing, we
Mhm.
take it to the extreme,
I know, because
which is why we're talking about insecurity and
I know, but I'm telling you,
possession and
I kind of
self-ownership.
agree. I kind of agree with what you were saying, though, Sticks. I feel like trust or jealousy. I feel like you cannot have both. I really don't. I
What?
don't. I don't feel like I don't, because I feel like if you're jealous, you're not trusting what your partner is telling you. And I feel like it's
But
a
just
little
a
bit of
minute
a,
ago,
Yeah.
but
Camene, you gave an example of you using the phone and talking about the game,
I
and you
know.
wanted Dave
This is
to
why
be jealous.
I have the show, because I
That's
feel
why
like
we
when
have
I sit back and
conversations.
listen, sometimes it alters my opinion of what I had. That's why I'm doing it, because I feel like
If Dave
people,
would have showed, if Dave would have showed jealousy in that scenario with the phone game that you was talking about, would you automatically say that he doesn't trust you?
no.
You would just say he was jealous at how you
I
was
just would
treating
have
that
said,
game.
oh, how cute, babe. Like,
All
don't
right
even,
then. So you can totally trust and love. Dave don't love you any less just
Yeah, but
because you did
Dave
something to make him
trusts
jealous.
her. I'm sorry to say his name, but your husband trusts you. So he has no fear of what game, what guy hollered, what the text message said, nothing. He has no fear of losing you because he trusts 100% that you're
Yeah.
his partner to the death.
yeah,
And that is a beautiful thing that can't be replaced. And
yeah,
jealousy only ruins that, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
no,
So
yeah.
just to jump in real quick, you remember
Yeah.
when we first talked about this, Camene, where I said he knows that you're not going to leave him for a domino guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
What the what? So
Yeah.
it was funny. It was what it was. But my
Right.
thing is that I think that you can have trust and a touch of jealousy, because I envision me and my partner at a social gathering, let's say a
Mhm.
mixer, cocktail
Mhm.
party.
A mixer.
Uh-huh.
A mixer.
We're at a mixer, a cocktail party, we're rubbing elbows and all of that. Black tie affair, sexy. And here it is, I have a couple of guys surrounding me, talking to me. And I've been in this situation before where I've had men just talking to me and just like, oh, da, 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 da. And the dude I'm with is not on my shoulder, not with me or whatever. He's kind of in the distance, handling and doing whatever. When he comes back, there's two types of guys. There's the type of guy that walks up and says, okay, and then comes back and joins me and joins the group. Then there's the jealous type that will get mad at me
Mhm.
because I was getting that attention. The guy that I prefer is the one that just walks up and is like, okay, what's up, baby? And that connects
man.
and joins. Or keeps his distance, but doesn't get mad at me.
Right.
Jokes about it. Okay, you had the whole room, girl. You better go ahead now.
Yeah.
They better know their place though and stay respectful.
So in that scenario, he's jealous of you because you were getting more attention than him.
No, it's the men that were giving me attention that he would.
Well, he wouldn't be.
Could be.
I think the only in that, like, I'm just trying to kind of understand that scenario. If it's a scenario where I'm out with a woman and she is surrounded by men and not with me, but we went there together, that's kind of a thing all in its own, right? Like, how are we separate and you're surrounded by men? and we came here together. I'm assuming as a couple.
Because people mix and mingle. You don't, when you go to a place with your partner, you're not like tied at the hip. It's not
Right.
Magic Mountain.
Right. But
Wearing matching outfits.
Right, but allowing yourself to be surrounded, like the way you just said, like I'm surrounded by men and they just all up in my face. If you're flirting with these men and giggling and giving them attention that you're not giving your man, then that would make him jealous because you're giving them attention that he wants. Not the fact that you're getting attention, period. The fact that you're giving attention to those men and not giving it to him. Now, yes, he could be assertive and walk over and enjoying the whole thing or whatever and enjoy the rest of his night. But if he brings it up later and says, hey, babe, I had a good time last night. There was a moment where I felt like I wasn't getting the attention that you would give it to other people. That's him being jealous, and that jealous could
guy talks like that.
else.
So,
that jealousy could mutate into something else depending on how.
No, Mike, no, honey. So you've added quite a bit to the little scenario I gave first. If it is a mixer, let's say it's a business mixer, and he came as my companion, and I'm there to do such. Or let's say it's somewhere where this is my crowd of people, I'm there. So for me to mix around, that's one thing for sure. Any man that wants to be with me, he's gonna have to be comfortable with me being a social butterfly. I don't want anybody but him. That's why I brought him. I
didn't hear the business mixer part. I didn't hear that the first time.
Yeah, so the point is that regardless of the environment or the situation, I'm not flirting. I am being who I am. I'm a social butterfly and I'm doing my job. Or if I'm hosting something, that is part of my job. However, if he's upset about that, knowing, the situation, there's nothing, you have to be able to roll with the punches. That's like Halle Berry dating a construction worker. You purposely do this, you date those that are very familiar with your environment because they know what it takes to be that, and that jealousy will come in, and that's the type of person I wouldn't deal with. If
you're saying it's in a business networking capacity, that's a little bit different than you going on a date to a club or a lounge and you're just surrounded by men. Those are two different scenarios.
It's a black tie affair.
If you're saying that it's a business networking event, that's very different. But let's say in either situation, right? Because like Sticks said, you can't control somebody, which means we also can't tell somebody how to feel about a certain situation. We can't devalidate somebody's emotions. So let's say your man did come to you after that situation, whether it's a club or a black tie business networking thing, and he tells you that something in there made him jealous in that moment. How do you respond to him?
Depends on how he says it.
If he says
like you just said, talking about you were flirting all up in his face, boy, stop it somewhere.
I just explained it so well that Anita said, who talks like that? If a man came to you correct and said, hey, babe, I had a good time last night. Thanks for inviting me to the mixer. There was a moment, though, where I did feel a little jealous because you were kind of giving attention to these dudes and not giving it to me. But hang on, I'm asking it to Goldie. If he explains to you that he did feel jealous by a certain behavior that you showed that night, how do you respond to him?
That's the thing. Is it the behavior that I showed or just him seeing men in my face? There's a big difference. So if it's something
how you respond if he said it.
I'm sorry?
I'm just asking how you would respond if he said that.
Well, like I said, if he's saying I did something, then I would want to know more and make sure I don't do it again. Because my goal is never to invoke the jealousy intentionally or unintentionally. But if it was something that I had no control over, a man in my face, and I could not curve him because it was a work thing or, it was whatever, we should also have cues that if there's someone in my face and I look across and my dude's right there, come get this mother, brother, because honey, and that's when he's supposed to step in. So there's different things about it, but I'm not here to make him jealous, especially in that type of environment. I would never put my man on Front Street like that.
And that is the whole point, Goldie. You have a consideration for his feelings. Like that's what all of this is about. If he's telling you that there's a behavior that made him jealous, you are not going to do it again, or you're going to make a conscious effort not to do it again because you don't want to provoke him, right?
Yes, but the type of man I would not want is the type that would in fact be jealous based on the actions of others.
And what I've been saying this whole time is exactly what you just said. Like being in a respectful relationship means just making a conscious effort not to hurt your partner's feelings. Like that's all jealousy is. Your feelings is a little bit hurt over something.
Yeah,
Sticks, go ahead.
But what if his feelings are hurt for nothing? You see what I'm saying? Like,
we're not talking about nothing. We're talking about the scenario that was just created.
Well, the scenario you explained to me is a nothing scenario. If we go out to a mixer and we're at a place and we're all talking and we separate and we're having drinks and talking to other people. There could be 6 guys around her, all busting jokes. She could be the only one laughing. I'd be on the other side of the room. It's not gonna bother me. I came with her. We leaving together. What's gonna happen here?
Thank
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
my point.
Well,
like,
first of all, that was a scenario that she created, not me. And I was given a hypothetical to ask how she would handle if her man was jealous. Again, just because you are impervious to jealousy, and
I'm not impervious. This is what I was saying.
Oh, wait. Let's hear Sticks's point. Go ahead, Sticks.
Yeah, let's hear
This
Sticks.
is what I was saying. I was super jealous when I was young. Super jealous, beyond, you know what I'm saying, healthy jealousy. I don't think any jealousy is really healthy, because I see how it just leads to more and more issues and problems. Now, if you're feeling a certain type of way and you need to be coddled by your partner so you don't feel like they're gonna run off on you, yeah, I guess a little consideration is needed. But I mean, grow up. If you can't expect me to talk to the opposite sex without you getting in your feelings, there's a problem. Like, I'll take it to this. I don't want to bring this up because it's going to age me, but have you seen that movie, Indecent Proposal?
Yeah.
Demi Moore. I think everybody's seen it, right? Okay. Now, here's the thing. Woody Harrelson, he got jealous after something he was not jealous at all before. He was going to let his wife sleep with this millionaire for $1 million, and then they were going to start their dream life. Okay. What happened was he let jealousy seep into his spirit, and it became toxic, to the point that she still loved him. She only did it for him. And now she decided to leave him because she couldn't take the jealousy, even though she loved him with all her heart. So much she was willing to sleep with another man to fulfill his dreams. You see what I'm saying? So jealousy is a big problem if it's not handled or nipped in the butt. So if you ever feel any smidget of jealousy, you should talk to yourself. That's when the mirror comes out. What's wrong with me that is looking at this behavior as inappropriate? Because if it is inappropriate behavior, find a new relationship. That's not the woman you need to be with if she's cheating on you or creeping on you. For sure, that's what I'm saying, 150. But for you to assume or to see other men talking to a beautiful, what do you think is going to happen? If your wife is beautiful, I expect every guy to be looking, talking, trying to hit on her when I go to the bathroom, everything. There's going to be every direction of people offering her dick. It's going to happen.
And when you come back from the bathroom, I'm going to tell you and laugh about it. But like, you see that one over there?
I'm going to laugh with her, and I'm going to ask her if she got a drink, and did she get me one? Because this is going to happen.
Wait, Mike, do you understand what he's saying though?
I do understand what he's saying, and I think it sounds good and entertaining right now, but I think if you are serious about somebody, everything he's saying would be out of the window. Listen, man, you ain't never known me to date nobody ugly, all right? And if I'm with a beautiful woman, I expect people to look at her. The jealousy has nothing to do with other men. The jealousy is about how my woman responds to the attention. And
but if she's leaving with you, Mike, if she's going home with you.
Hey, I'll let you finish, bro. Let me finish.
Go ahead, Mike.
Whether it's my woman or if it's a woman dealing with a man or whatever it is, like, no matter how you cut it, communication will cut all of that out. And I think if you feel some kind of way, you should be able to talk to your partner about it. You should not sit around and say, well, just so I can have this impression of being impervious like Sticks, I'm going to feel this and just not say anything at all and just let this shit stay in me. You should be able to talk to your partner about how you feel. And so if you feel some kind of way, you should be able to go to your partner and let them know how you feel, whether it's rational or not. And your partner should love you enough and respect you enough to hear you out and handle that shit. Like, period.
But you feel that the partner should have to change.
If my girl ever came to me and told me that I did something to make her jealous, and I said, man, get over yourself. I'm a good looking man. Women gonna look at me all night. You just gotta handle that on your own. Y'all will call me an asshole.
Okay, Anita.
Her out.
Right, Anita, what did you want to say? Go ahead, honey.
I did want to say that the scenario that Sticks and Holly presented about, like, oh, you go to the bathroom, dudes try to holler, and you come back and you kind of laugh at it. That is my situation. That is my marriage today. That happens, and he expects it because it happens often, all the time.
And he could deal with it because he's a comfortable enough man with himself to deal with a beautiful wife and have other men talk to her and not feel no type of way.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
Yes, you are.
Of course you are a silly.
Look, she's so silly.
So basically what you're saying, Mike, is that it sounds good of what he's talking about, but it's not realistic. Is that
I think it's good in theory, but not so much in practical application. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think the whole the whole omittance of the idea of just talking about how you feel with your partner is unrealistic. If you're in a
I didn't say
relationship,
that. I
you're
didn't
gonna
say
have feelings.
omit your feelings.
You're saying that she don't have to let you know if she decides to go out with male friends. It don't matter
You
if
don't.
she's off by surprise with men at night. And if you go out, it don't matter who she talks to, how she act, or how you feel. You don't say nothing about it, or you a bitch, and she shouldn't say nothing about it because she don't belong to you. That's
But
like your
here's the
narrative.
question. Oh,
And it's just not, it don't work in
guys,
real life.
guys, hello.
Yeah.
No. Question. So do you think that a person who has that type of level, that level of trust that Sticks gives, do you think they would do the things that you're describing, Mike? As far as
I'm
just
sorry.
popping up at the club at night and not communicating?
Wait, you're saying if somebody had the level of trust that Sticks has,
That he gives,
or
like,
that he gives,
it's all good.
what's the rest?
Do you think that they're doing things of that nature? The reason I ask is that a person who has a good man or a good woman, they tend to deserve that, right?
Mhm.
They tend to be in a place themselves in situations to where that trust is not broken. And
Right.
now we will give trust, we will give things and so forth and so on just out the gate because you know, that's who you are. But for the most part, once it's broken, it's broken and you can't get it back.
Mhm.
So I guess the thing is, what you're describing may be a completely different scenario than what Sticks is saying that where his mindset is. And the people are not matching necessarily.
Well, let me answer that in the form of a question. Camene, you've been married for 20 years.
Mhm.
Would you say that you're the woman today that you were 20 years ago?
No.
Would you say that during the course of your marriage, you might have said or done things that might have affected the trust in your marriage at one point?
Yes.
You guys are having a trust in marriage now, right?
Yes.
And it's because you communicated a lot, right?
Yes.
And now you have an understanding of each other because you communicated, right?
Yeah.
Once trust is broken, it can be renewed, but it'll never happen if people ain't talking and communicating. Like I said, if you just got this attitude, like I don't have to do this because of this, and I'm this, and you just got to do that kind of attitude does not work in a long-term relationship.
I disagree, bro.
And also let me add to that real quick. Hold on, let me add to that. Wait a second. Hold on 1 second. So what I was going to add to that is that yes, we communicate with each other because we want to, but it's also his actions. So once I got to the point, because I got married very young, so I was just going through and trying to figure out myself and everything else. But once we got to that point of just like me, like trusting him, I didn't have to communicate as much. So it seemed like we got to a spot where it's like, okay, we want to really know each other. And so we just shared that communication really tight. But after a while, it's like you already have an idea of what's happening. So you don't really have a reaction. You know what I'm saying?
After a while,
just like even to the domino game, as much as I want him to say something, after a while, he's like, you know what I mean? Like he trusts me, he ain't even going to even bring it up. Like, yeah.
Let's keep it real. How many people have been married 20 years? So we're talking about people who are dating. You know, and that wasn't really my question. My question was more so what you're describing being at the club when you wake up and you're missing her because you had some kind of dream about her, right? And Sticks style of, yeah, come and go as you please. I'm good. I don't really trip it. And the two rarely match and they rarely meet. And if so, in a dating scene, when you're just dating, it ends and they don't get that any longer because you've mismatched.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like I said, if we're talking about jealousy at all, if we're talking about insecurity at all, I'm assuming that this is a conversation about established relationships, not people that's just in a dating scene. You probably got 2 or 3 other people in your phone that you're going out with every once in a while. In a real relationship, you have a right to be jealous. You have a right to expect something from your partner. Then communication needs to happen.
I believe there's a right for communication, a right for trust. I don't think there's a right to be jealous. I mean, you asked me if during her marriage, right? You asked me during her marriage, was there a time where trust was broken, but it was renewed? You asked her if was communication, crucial to renewing that trust. And she said, yes, because communication is crucial to any relationship. But ask her, or let me ask you, Camene, was jealousy helpful to your relationship? Did that help your marriage last 20 years? Did any form of jealousy ever be like, oh, we needed that jealousy because that's what saved us? Never.
No.
Of course not.
Never.
Nobody is saying that jealousy is
No.
good for a relationship.
Wait,
Jealousy is
We're
not
talking about
good
how
at
you
all.
alleviate jealousy. No, I'm
Wait.
not saying jealousy is good for a relationship. I'm saying if jealousy pokes its ugly head through, that there is a way to alleviate the jealousy, which is what they did, which is why they are where they are now. They didn't just start trusting each other overnight because they just stopped giving a shit. They trust each other now because they talked it over. They changed behaviors that made them jealous in the beginning in the first place.
That's true.
Actually, Sticks, I want to say something. I was going to bring this up sooner. The reason why I laughed so hard when you said that is because there are honestly some times where there's been like a little twinge of jealousy, and it made me like, I don't want to say happy, but it made me like want to do better. Like if I've had like a twinge of jealousy, I'm like, oh, I'm about to do this, as soon as we get home, like.
Yep, and that's what I'm talking about. I agree with you, Anita, because if he came and he said, baby, you were working that room, and he's gonna wear my tail out that night because he know he came home with me, and I'm like, yes, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God,
That's
you
it.
guys.
It's not
There
about
actually is that kind of jealousy, Sticks, because like, like I would say like, younger, I had like probably like toxic jealousy, but today I really do feel there is a healthy jealousy because I have it.
Yeah.
As
Ooh,
long as you
Lord.
can look in the mirror, and you could reflect and everything is fine, it's not a problem. I think when you're stepping over boundaries, you're trying to change behaviors, change people, control what they're doing. I told you last time that this is unacceptable, like all that stuff. That's just crazy.
that
Yeah,
is. I agree with that.
Okay,
So
you
let me
guys.
ask you a question. So do you think that when you get into a relationship, regardless of how long the relationship goes on, that no changes need to happen on either side? That you should just
Nobody's saying you don't conform to your partner. Nobody's saying that you don't work on your relationship. What I'm saying is, and I'm not saying trust 100% off the bat. I mean, that would be a little bit
sounds like what
naive.
you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is I give that trust because at the end of the day, people are going to be who they are. If she's going to cheat on you, if she's going to leave you, you know what I'm saying? She's going to do it. Now, whether you're jealous or not, and you get yourself all worked up, what is she doing? Where's she at? How come she's not picking up her phone? I sent 3 text messages. I mean, that's just crazy.
Okay,
Just
so what it sounds
relax,
like to me is,
if she's gonna leave you, go ahead.
So what it sounds like to me is it's not really a matter of you not being jealous as much as you only half invest emotionally to avoid being hurt in case she does
It's not
do what
okay.
you think is
See,
out of your
you
control.
don't have to demonize how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
not
I'm half
demonizing it. I'm not
invested in the
demonizing it. I'm
relationship.
saying
You don't have to
Okay.
change the narrative. What
I'm
I'm
not
saying, brother.
demonizing anything.
Okay,
What I'm
hold
saying
on.
it sounds like your strategy for
Uh-huh.
not being jealous is just not caring too much in the first place.
No,
It sounds like
I
you're
don't
putting
agree with
words in
that.
my mouth. What I'm
I'm
saying
just telling
is,
you what it sounds like. I didn't say you
Okay,
said that.
okay, Sticks, we have to wrap it up really quick. So I just want to make sure we get how you feel so we can hear it from you. Go ahead.
what I'm saying is, of course, building the relationship is important. Okay. Having feelings is important. Discussing those feelings are important. Jealousy is not important. Jealousy doesn't really lead to good relationships. We're talking about jealousy. Now, you can say that me personally, I'm not invested, but I am invested. It's just that I'm confident enough to know that I think I'm better than whatever she's going to find out there. So go let her look. You know what I'm saying? When you stop people or you try to stop them from doing just their curiosity, whatever they're feeling, it's just going to push them more towards it. So the more I'm jealous of these other guys and the more controlling the more she's going to want to break free of that control, want to break free and go do her own thing. So I'm saying I got to be confident in my relationship, in me, and in the trust that I have, because I want to be in a good, trusting relationship. So I give the trust. Now, if she does something to break the trust, if she does out and she's cheating on me or whatever, then we reevaluate the situation. I'm not going to just keep trusting her blindly. That's naive. I'm not a stupid person. So I believe, maybe I am. I don't know.
I really hate to end it because I'm like, and what else? And who else? But
that deep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Come back on this.
Okay, man. No, what I do want to say before I close, and I thank you guys all for joining me today on this phone call. It's been awesome. It's been real. And I think we're kind of pulled both ways. I've actually learned a lot and didn't think that I would agree or disagree, but I really do feel like jealousy is an evil trait to have in relationships, and that once that is out of the picture, that you can really strive for a long, healthy relationship without that. And communicating is also important in that as well, in that people should keep love alive and don't give up, and try to really learn your partner before going into that full commitment with them. And I think that's really important, because I feel like people jump into relationships and you want to know them tomorrow. 20 years later, I'm still finding out things about my husband. I'm like, excuse you? Like, yeah. So really take time to really study your partner and just make sure you guys are matching energy together. It's extremely healthy and important. So once again, thank you guys so much for joining me on this phone call. Everybody, please like, subscribe, and share. Our links are in the bio below. And until the next phone call, I'll see you guys later. Bye.